plane taxied along the runway. I suppose it is natural that after 2 years of waiting, these last few minutes seem the longest.
I'm dying of curiosity after all you have told me.
Well, seeing is believing, and you haven't long to wait. I can hardly believe that Monique is really here at last.
Jean, the passengers are leaving the plane.
Ah, look, there's Monique. I'm going ahead to meet her. Monique.
Jean, darling, it's wonderful to see you again.
Come and meet my sister.
Jean, you didn't exaggerate.
Look who's arrived. Salut! Timo Géry. So this is Monique. Enchanté, mademoiselle. How about the lift into town? Of course, jump in, all of you. How come such a pretty girl marrying a rogue like my friend here?
Don't tease, Giorgio.
All right, my love. Hold tight. Here we go.
Jean, have things changed very much under the new government?
Oh, naturally they have, but so far there have been no drastic alterations to our way of life. The most important thing is, do you think you will be happy being here?
I'm sure I will, Jean.
Tomorrow we will start really showing you around. Now, Tunis is the capital. Like most towns and cities in North Africa, is divided into two parts. The modern European development is built alongside the original Medina, or Arab city. This is the Avenue Jules Ferry. I think you'll agree it compares favorably with your Champs-Élysées.
In some ways it reminds me of Paris, with its gay flower stalls and busy traffic.
Don't you think our policemen are smart?
Very, and they look efficient too.
This is the Place de Casbah. That modern Arabian building in front of you is the Ministry of Finance. The guarded door in the corner leads to the Casbah, which is, as always, the administration center of the Arab section of the government.
When it came to sightseeing in Medina, it was my turn to show Monique around. It seems impossible that all this is the same today as it was 1,000 years ago. A maze of narrow streets and markets interspersed with mosques, their tall minarets reaching up to the clear blue sky above the rooftops.
What a strange idea, having a map on the wall. It must be very useful.
More than useful, it's invaluable, for it gives you the names of all the narrow winding streets which make up the Medina. From past experience, I know that it is very easy to get lost here.
Goodness, what an assortment! I've never seen so many colorful things.
These apartment buildings are springing up everywhere. The very latest in design with every modern comfort.
I'd love to see inside them.
I will try and arrange for Simone to take you over one.
Jean, tell me what it was like here during the Great Change.
Well, April 1956 was the turning point. No one here will forget the first meeting at the Bon Palace.
It must have been a very memorable occasion.
It was. To the waiting crowds, this was their first national holiday. The delegates came from their districts to elect Habib Bourguiba as Prime Minister. He was the leader in their struggle for national independence and later was to become their president when this little country became a republic. Of course, the great event was witnessed by the ambassadors and representatives from all nations. Monsieur Sédou, the French ambassador, was given a special welcome. His tact and discipline had guided the transition from protectorate to nationhood. When the delegates had assembled, the Bey of Tunis arrived in his rightful position as head of the newly constructed nation. Then the moment arrived. Monsieur Bourguiba took his appointed place, and another page of freedom turned over in history. For you, madame.
Aren't they beautiful growing here all alone among the ruins?
Tunisia has everything to offer. Beauty, romance, and something that appeals to many, antiquity. What greater contrast to life today than the ancient civilization of Carthage?
What a fabulous era it was. Even at school I was fascinated, never dreaming that someday I would be walking over the old roads, touching the remains of the houses and temples of that great Roman city.
I'm very glad all this interests you. Tomorrow we will go to Sidi Bou Said. It's a delightful place, a mecca for artists and tourists alike. I'll take you to a charming little coffee house from which one has a magnificent view.
Jean, may we go to the place with that beautiful pottery?
Oh, you mean a bowl? Yes, we'll go there now. This youngster's working hard. How would you like to do that all day, huh?
Not very much. So if you're thinking of sending me to work...
How well you read my thoughts.
Jean, aren't the colors wonderful?
They are. The clay comes from the same pits and kilns as those used by the ancient potters centuries ago.
What exactly was this?
Originally, it was a hill station for Roman legions serving far from their homeland. In the heat of summer on the cool hills above the plain of Dougga, life was very pleasant. It was said Dougga compared favorably with Pompeii.
It always amazes me to see the remains of buildings standing after all these centuries.
Rather wonderful, isn't it? Of course, these ruins would be in even better condition if the builders of later times had not taken some of the stones and pillars made of fine Italian marble.
It seems a pity that they were allowed to do it.
Yes, but some of the pillars were put to good use and now surround the courtyard of the main mosque at Kairouan.
Will we have time to go there?
Of course. That is something you mustn't miss.
What did you say this town was called?
Sousse. You'll see a lot of this because it's the nearest town to our farm. Although the harbor is not deep enough for large vessels, it is quite useful for the small coastal traffic.
Jean, what are those funny-shaped stones?
Those are man-made and form a useful breakwater. See what I mean about the old Arab city being walled off from the new town?
So this is the farm. What a wonderful sight. Olive trees as far as one can see, and the farmhouse nestling right in the center.
It is lovely. We're very proud of the way it's developed. One day, Monique, you and Jean will live here.
What are those houses over there?
We built them for the farm workers. See, they even have their own mosque.
All this must keep you very busy.
It does. The oil we crush from the olives is exported all over Europe. October and November are our busiest months. Our produce goes in barrels to Sfax. I believe Jean is taking you there tomorrow.
Sfax is an important deep-water port. From here are exported our phosphates and other minerals, also oil and dates. Look, there are some of the coastal boats that have brought cargo to be transshipped to deep-water craft.
Shall we watch them unload the pottery?
Dozens and dozens of them, and most of them the same shape.
You will see the same jars in many biblical pictures, and even the carvings on tombs in Egypt show such water jars.
Which makes one think time has stood still.
Well, it hasn't here. We are looking at the reconstructed part of Sfax. Both town and port were of strategic importance during the war, and in the later stages of the North African campaign, Sfax was badly bombed. In case you're wondering, this is a cinema. And how do you like the new design for a church?
I think it's all rather exciting, and certainly something different.
You must agree, Tunisia is a land of contrast. As you see, Kavanagh is as ancient as Sfax is now modern. The whole city is steeped in religious traditions. Below us is the main mosque. This is the holy of holies to the entire Muslim world. It is said that 5 pilgrimages to Kavanagh equal 1 pilgrimage to Mecca. The pillars surrounding the courtyard are of Roman marble. You remember I told you they were taken from the ruins of Dougga. Now I'm going to show you something that will really interest you.
Jean, what gorgeous carpets. The colors are fantastic. They must take ages to make.
Carpet making, like most of the other arts, has been going on here for countless years. The women are deft and work to patterns and designs carried in their heads, all of which have been passed down from mother to daughter through the generations.
I think they are quite wonderful.
Maybe you would like to choose two for our home.
They are so beautiful. It's difficult to decide.
They look even nicer in the right surroundings. This is our last day in the south, and I think when you have seen a little of Juba or the Isle of the Lotus Eater, you will agree I've chosen a wonderful place to end with.
What a wonderful place for a holiday. Listen to that weird music. It makes one think of snake charmers.
There is a story about them. You can see that their appearance and features are not the same as the rest of the natives here.
I noticed that. Why is it?
Years ago, slave ships used to pass by this stretch of coast on their journeys from the south to Mediterranean ports in the north. Some ships were wrecked nearby. Survivors managed to get to the shore. These men are descendants of those slaves.
It's extraordinary the way they blow out their cheeks.
They do that because it acts as a reserve of wind to keep a continuous note, like a bagpipe.
On the way back, I think it would be a good idea to stop at Gem and show Monique the Colosseum.
It's been a wonderful day, Jean. In fact, a wonderful week.
You are happy here?
More happy than I imagined possible. I feel now that I can face the future with complete confidence.